Hello everyone, my name is Devin. This is my boxing coach Ish, and thank you for tuning into my channel, Devin's Mastermind. So Ish, so basically what we're gonna get into today, we're gonna get into the NBA. I know you like. There's a lot of famous topics about that. You're a Warriors fan. I know you, the trend. Lakers is a very nice topic, and then we're gonna talk about famous boxers of all time. So first, let's get into this. Who's your favorite team in the NBA?
My favorite team in the NBA is the Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors. That's Steph Curry, Chef Curry, the three-point shooter.
That's the basic nucleus team of
basketball right now.
Steph Curry, Draymond Green,
and
Klay Thompson.
You get him back.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, so basically, I know you heard Steph Curry. Well, we all know Steph Curry is probably one of the greatest shooters in the history of basketball. I remember he had passed first on the list in all-time Golden State Warriors points list. I think Wilt Chamberlain was like, they said he was second. So either way, Steph Curry is just a great player, period, in the NBA, and he had signed that extension, I heard earlier on today. So what's your thoughts on Steph Curry right now?
My thoughts on Steph Curry is that he's the greatest shooter of all times, and interestingly enough to say, I think Steph Curry also is very underrated as well. I think people, because he shoots the ball so well, I think people take for granted all of the other stuff that he does well on the basketball court. Even defensively, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a very underrated defender in a help defense setting. His offensive game is not just him shooting or dribbling or whatever the case may be. He gets his points efficiently. He gets them within the scheme of the offense. And I just think that there's a lot of things that he does well that a lot of people overlook because he's so good as a shooter.
Yeah, I agree with you with that totally. He should have been, to me, I felt like he won the scoring NBA championship. I felt like the NBA scoring list, I felt like he should have won the MVP in my book, somewhat.
I mean, one could say that. It's hard to argue what some of the other guys did last season, but from an emotional standpoint, it's like, if they'd have gave him the MVP, but his team didn't win enough. That's just, you know what I'm saying? If his team would have been more successful, I think he could have got MVP this year. You know what I'm saying? But, it's hard to argue what Nikola Jokic was doing over there.
Yeah, because he was dominant too.
Yeah.
And Joel Embiid and all of them.
Yeah, right. It was a tough race this year, so.
Yeah. And Steph Curry, he wasn't highly recruited when he came out of high school. He went to a school called Davidson, I think. They had beat Gonzaga at one time when Gonzaga was really good, which they're the best team probably in basketball right now. But I know he had beat them in an NCAA tournament upset. I think they say he scored like 40 points, something. He was close to it, but he wasn't highly recruited. Played for Davidson, did pretty okay. And then once he came in the NBA, he was just a complete beast.
Steph for me, is my favorite NBA player. It's one of the reasons why Golden State is my favorite team right now. I think if Steph left the team, they wouldn't be my favorite team anymore. You know what I'm saying? I like the franchise. I've liked the franchise ever since Run TMC. But at the same time, Steph Curry is probably my favorite active player, and it's because of everything that he's overcome as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about not just not widely recruited. You're talking about his father, who was an NBA player, didn't believe that he could play in the NBA.
Well, that's kind
of... coaches of major schools, no one thought that, when he was an undersized, very slow, not athletic.
Not big.
Big, you know what I'm saying? No one thought that this kid could even play D1. They didn't even think he could play D1. His father didn't even think that he could play D1 or play in the NBA. And even once he, did go to Davidson and put the world on notice in a small school, when he got to the NBA, the scouting report was he's going to be good, but he's not the guy you want to run your team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
like
saying?
Like a bus championship.
Basically, like, he could be the third best, the you know what I'm saying, like third string or second string point guard on a good team. But he's not the guy that's gonna run your franchise, and he's been doing nothing since he came in the league but proving everybody wrong, including the first ever unanimous MVP. So
yeah. Yeah, and basically when I look at Steph Curry in basketball, he's like a Patrick Mahomes kind of in basketball, just because what he can do. I mean, yeah, he can shoot it he could probably shoot it from 60 feet. He can, like you say, he can score so darn well. I mean, he's like the Patrick Mahomes. He's just a Patrick Mahomes of
One of
basketballs,
the best
basically.
finishers underneath the basket. I think Kyrie is probably 1, Steph is
I
probably
don't
2,
think,
or Kyrie is 1A and Steph is 1B, but these are 2 of the best finishers underneath the basket in basketball.
Well, let me tell you something. I gotta disagree. I think Steph Curry is better than Kyrie.
You think Steph Curry is better than Kyrie?
In that situation, yeah, because with Kyrie, he's a baby. He cries too much, and he's always, for whatever reason, he's always getting hurt. He's been missing a lot of games with his teams and all that stuff, and then he's always out because of personal issues, and this lets his team down. He let Kevin Durant. Him and Kevin Durant and James Harden, he let them do the hard work. Come on now, if y'all the big 3, y'all really were the big 2. Y'all really were the big 1. But y'all weren't the big 3 because y'all were out. So y'all wasn't the famous big 3. If anybody was a big 3, it was the Milwaukee Bucks. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton just throwing it down and shooting it so well.
The super team that's not a super team.
Yeah, they don't consider Milwaukee a super team because Giannis said, I did it the hard way. I'm like, really, Giannis, y'all got a super team.
Y'all got a super team.
Y'all didn't do it the hard way.
Y'all didn't do it the hard way, dog.
Yeah, Drew
Y'all
Holiday.
got a super team. Y'all got a super team, and y'all beat undermanned super teams.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
Yeah.
You know
They really, if you look at them, they really do have a big 5. Cause I mean, yeah, you got Giannis, who's definitely the Greek freak. He can dunk on you in many different ways.
Chris Middleton, who is basically a watered down Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And if you're a watered down Kevin Durant, you still better than most of the players in the league.
Yeah.
He's basically the same thing Kevin Durant is without that killer instinct that Kevin Durant has,
and he ain't
without the efficiency that Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant, once it's all said and done, is going to be one of the best players to ever play basketball ever. So if you just a watered down version of that, you're still better than most of the players in the league.
I mean, yeah.
So they got Chris Middleton, who's basically a watered down Kevin Durant. Can score from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, he's not 6'11".
6'10".
He's probably I think he's somewhere 6'8".
6'8". Well, he's not 6'8". He's taller than 6'8".
He don't look taller when he be playing basketball.
How tall is Giannis?
Giannis is 6'11".
So Chris Middleton is 6'10". He's either 6'9" or 6'10". You know what I'm saying? He's basically the same size as Kevin Durant with guard level handles. Can get anywhere on the floor. He's a closer. You can trust him in big moments at the end of games.
Yep.
And he's a very efficient shooter that can hit from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, and basically with Kevin Durant, he's so skinny. If he gets hurt or something, if he falls on the ground, of course it's gonna be hurt because he ain't got no cushion.
The thing with Kyrie is like a lot of people feel a certain way about Kyrie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but how good he is as far as a player and how good he is as far as a teammate. It's kind of 2 different things.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think he's that great.
I agree with everything that you said about Kyrie, but you can't deny the wizardry with the basketball. Like when Kyrie is on, I think he's the best finisher in basketball. Period. I think as far as anywhere around the basket with the ball in Kyrie's hands, I think outside of maybe Kevin Durant, he's more of a threat than anybody as far as making that shot.
Yeah.
From anywhere. And what it really comes down to is the thing that makes Kyrie Irving special. A lot of people know, and when I coach kids and stuff in basketball, I tell them to pay attention to the fact that, number one, he has very good footwork. We talk about that here in the gym. Number 2, he dribbles the ball very low.
Yeah.
He dribbles the ball. So wherever he's doing, good footwork plus dribbling the ball very low, he has excellent balance. He's always on balance. Every time he shoots, he's on balance. And then somehow he developed a relationship with the backboard so that he knows he can put English on any part of the backboard and make the ball go in. So, all that stuff is true. Yeah, kind of cry sometimes. He's a little bit of a diva. People don't like him personality-wise and all that kind of stuff. But Kyrie Irving coming at you with a basketball and you have to guard him is a very scary proposition.
Yeah, very, very. And I think with Kyrie Irving, he's more of that kind of talent he'll put on the show for you. He's kind of, I mean, John Morant's kind of that too, because John Morant be doing those 360 windmills and all that
That's
stuff.
my favorite young player.
Yeah, so I think that's what Kyrie Irving reminds me of, because they both like to put on shows, but I still think John Morant is looking way more better than Kyrie Irving at this moment.
John Morant is better than Kyrie?
I'm just playing with you,
Oh,
but
I'm
Kyrie
about to
just,
say,
Kyrie
man,
just, he too
I'm
much.
gonna have to revoke your basketball card for at least a month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? John Morant, again, he's one of my. John Morant reminds me of Allen Iverson.
Oh, yeah.
That's who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Allen Iverson. His quickness and freakish athleticism. Like, people try to compare Kyrie Irving with Allen Iverson. Really, you know, Kyrie Irving is more Rod Strickland than Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson didn't have necessarily really good keep the ball on the string right there in front of you. He was quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had that killer crossover.
Yeah, definitely.
But he was quick. He'd make a move. He was so shifty. He'd make a move and he's gone. And he had really good athleticism. He could jump really high. That's more John Morant.
Yeah, definitely.
Kyrie Irving can put the ball on the string right there in front of you. And you couldn't, like, he's not even necessarily quick most of the time. He just got really good ball control and ball handling. And so that's more if you ever study Rod Strickland.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right, so let's get into boxing.
Okay.
My favorite boxing person of all time is Muhammad Ali. So who's your favorite?
Muhammad Ali.
Oh, yeah.
Muhammad Ali, without question. Why is he your favorite?
Well, he's my favorite somewhat because, you know, what he did, he had made this country a better place with Malcolm X and all that stuff. I know he was one of his great friends, and it was just, and then he was just a special kind of person,
Right.
in my words.
Right.
Yeah, and he and like he said, the champ is here. He was a champ and he was probably one of the greatest iconic 20th century people to live at that time in the 20th century.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. My thing is, you know, Ali stood for so much to so many people outside. It's not many athletes who were able to establish themselves as greatness inside the ring and outside the ring.
Gotcha.
There are people who became great people. You know,
Yeah.
Malcolm X,
Martin Luther
King,
any of them,
you know, et cetera, et cetera. And it's hard to put yourself, you know, in that league with those people as a person, as a citizen of the world, and still display that same level of greatness in your necessary sport. I don't think anyone's ever really pulled that off. Like Jim Brown, no, not really. LeBron, we're not even gonna have that conversation. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar tried, wasn't charismatic enough, and actually his legacy suffered because of it. Because I'm under the argument, like, when people say who's the greatest basketball player of all time, I say I concede to Michael Jordan, because so many people has pretty much changed the criteria to make it a wing player thing.
Yeah.
But really, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest basketball player to ever play this game. Period, point blank. It's really not even too much of an argument, except for the fact that people have changed the narrative. But the reason why he's not considered that is because of his activism, you know, him being Muslim, and him not really being loved by the media because of his stances that he took. So even him came close as a citizen of the world. His legacy suffered from it, even though his numbers are undeniable. But Muhammad Ali was that dude out of the ring, and then in the ring displayed brilliance that is just unmatched by anybody.
And when I think of my greatest basketball player of all time, really when I look at it, I think of the 11-time NBA champion, 2-time NBA champion as a coach, and 2-time college champion at the San Francisco Duns. I look at Bill Russell, the 88-year-old man now.
Yeah.
I would say, because he's an 11-time NBA champion.
That's a good argument.
And all that.
That's a good argument. But with me, it's like everybody's criteria is different. My criteria is not just, it's a combination of your accomplishments
Yeah.
and your abilities. And even though Bill Russell had more accomplishments than
Yeah.
Kareem, abilities,
Um,
he wasn't even close. Like if you go back and look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar highlights from the Milwaukee Bucks.
I mean, yeah, he was famous.
I mean, you will see him doing stuff Kevin Durant do. You'll see him doing stuff LeBron do. You'll see him doing stuff that Wilt did. You'll see him doing stuff that Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
whoever you can think of, Akeem Olajuwon, you'll see him doing stuff all of those players do. But you'll also see him doing stuff no one's ever done, which is hit hook shots from almost the 3-point line.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like you can't find no player since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that can consistently hit hook shots from almost the 3-point line.
Yeah. And
But you can see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar handling the basketball. You can see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar giving you good passes like Jokic. You can see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar taking people off the dribble, pulling off with jumpers like Durant. You can see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar dunking on people like Shaq and LeBron. You can see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar passing out of the post like Wilt. You can see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar blocking shots like Wilt and Hakeem. But you will not see no other player hitting hook shots
like Kareem.
from the 3-point line.
And when I look at Kareem, I think those goggles that he had always had on really helped it probably a great bit. Probably, and all that stuff. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's number 1 on the all-time point list. Number 2, of course, is Karl Malone from Utah Jazz. Number 3, of course, is LeBron James. Number 4 is Kobe Bryant. I think number 5 is Michael Jordan. And it goes from so on and so on. But yeah, I think those goggles really help Kareem a great deal. And he was a 1-time NBA champion with the Bucks and a 5-time NBA champion with the Lakers.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And established and dominated the game from high school. Dominated in high school, never lost. I think he lost 1 time on some technicality stuff.
Dominated against UCLA
college.
when he was what, UCLA.
You know what I'm saying? So much so that they had to change the game for him not to be so dominant, and he found another way to dominate. Hook shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I say. But you know what I mean, like that's a fun argument that people have and stuff like that. But when you my thing with Kareem is that he was gifted in almost every area of the game. Most people remember the old Kareem, could barely get up the court, dump it down to him, hook shot. That's what most people, remember. But if you go back and watch old footage of Kareem in his prime, you'll see him doing everything anybody today does that you think is special. You'll see him doing it, but you'll also see him doing something that nobody else do. It's hook shot from the 3-point line.
Yeah, before we go and leave and all that stuff, I know you heard about the Russell Westbrook trade. Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers, and it seems like once one person leaves as a great Lakers of all time, it's like here comes another one, giving you a championship kind of team and all that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, what I think about it is it's probably gonna make a lot of people mad, but whatever. I mean, it's what they're supposed to do because they have LeBron on the team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you
yeah.
have LeBron on your team,
you're a championship team right there.
Well,
maybe not
yeah,
that. But
I mean, yes, but my whole thing is like, if you have LeBron on your team, you have to scramble to get all of the best available help to help LeBron. LeBron has had the most help in NBA history.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's not even like he's had the most help in NBA history. Okay, if Carmelo Anthony, DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook joins LeBron,
which that happened,
he would have played with. I'm not even gonna go into just all-stars. I'm not even gonna go into champions, certain statistics. I'm just talking about big deal players for their era.
Yeah.
Players that are big deals for their era. Either they're perennial all-stars or they're just superstars in the league.
Or bona fide superstars.
Right. He's played with an overwhelming 14 throughout his entire career. Mike had Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen. That's 2.
And Horace Grant when he was playing before he went to the Magic.
I don't count Horace Grant because Horace Grant was Horace Grant because of Mike. Horace Grant wasn't nothing before Mike, wasn't nothing after Mike. So I'll count Dennis Rodman because he was something with the Bulls. You could throw in Tony Kukoc, who was a superstar overseas.
With Croatia, yeah.
You could throw him in there if you want and stretch it out to 3, but that's 3. Kobe Bryant played with Shaq, and you can argue Pau Gasol. Weak argument, but you can argue Pau Gasol. What other superstar, ready-made player, you know what I'm saying, that he played with? Shaq, and you can argue Pau Gasol if you want to make the argument. LeBron has played with an overwhelming 14. Talking about Carmelo, Westbrook. We talking about
Anthony Davis already.
Anthony Davis. We talking about Dwight Howard. We talking about he's played with Marc Gasol. He's played with Shaq. He was an injured Shaq. He played with Shaq. He played with Ben Wallace after he was a champion. Played with Dwayne Wade. He played with Chris Bosh. He played with Ray Allen. Like, that's 10 off the top of my head. It's 10 already.
Yeah.
I can stop right there, but it's like, it's cool, but for me, when he wins, he did it. Yeah. Kyrie, when he wins, he did it. When he loses, it was all of their fault.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you've played with that much help, and you only won 4 championships. So, for the LeBron fans, they're going to get mad at me, but it is what it is. I'm just speaking facts.
Yeah.
The Lakers are expected, if they don't win, to get more superstars and pile on more help for LeBron to help boost LeBron's legacy. And I feel kind of bad for some of them because when they lose and they fall short, they're going to blame it on Carmelo. They're going to blame it on Westbrook. They're going to blame it on everybody. And LeBron is going to be like, yo, they failed the king. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I think about it. We'll see. From a basketball standpoint, do I see that winning a title over a fully healthy Brooklyn?
No, probably not Brooklyn yet.
I don't.
Definitely not Milwaukee. If Milwaukee
or
keeps playing like
fully,
that,
or you know what I'm saying, or
even the Hawks, if they could try. He could probably beat them.
I think they'll come out the West, no doubt. But like,
the Western Conference is so loaded with people.
Yeah, number one, LeBron is past his prime. Let's just keep it a buck. Anthony Davis is iffy. Let's say they're all healthy. Russell Westbrook has not proven that he could point guard on a high level.
He did make it to the NBA Finals with his help that he had, even though he had help too.
Yeah.
With OKC.
Yeah, that's true. But when I say point guard at a high level, I mean like when it gets down to the crunch time, can you operate the system in order to? Because as a point guard, your job is to make everyone else better. Your job is to put everyone in position to be
like
successful.
Chris Paul as him.
Right, that's your job as a point guard. So what happens with Russell Westbrook is when we have big games, they're usually very selfish big games. Even when they have big games, as far as from a assist standpoint, a lot of times he's just kicking it out to shooters, they're shooting, or he's driving to the basket, drawing attention, and then he'll drop it off to someone who's there last minute, that kind of thing. Yeah. But a point guard is more of an orchestrator of an offense to make sure everyone's in position for them to be successful.
Yeah.
And, Russell Westbrook, more times than not, has kind of failed in that department. He put up the numbers and put on a show, but as far as being able to be a Rajon Rondo, that's what LeBron needs in order to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Because he himself can't assume that role at a high level now because of his age and attrition and everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I see him being exciting. I see Westbrook, putting up numbers.
Yeah, but
I don't, outside of everybody getting hurt or something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody fully staffed and whatever, I don't see the Lakers winning a championship.
I don't really think yet. Like you said, the West is so loaded. Like you got the Suns, you got the Clippers, you got the Jazz, you got the Nuggets. You got the Mavericks on with the Blazers and whoever else, I think, but that's really about it on my list.
And with this move, Carmelo and all them, they become one of the oldest teams in the league. They gave up a lot of their youth for old players.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I got you. Agree with you 100%. So Ish, anybody want to get out a shout out to before we leave?
Oh man, shout out to everybody, man. It's too many to sit here and name, but yo, if you out here, man, trying to make it happen, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Devin. How about that?
Yeah, shout out to
you. know what I'm saying? For allowing me to come on the show. How about that?
All right. You're welcome.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. All right. Good night, y'all.